can
Yes.
shop with it.
Is a bonga point a currency?
Actually, it's a currency. It's
Yes.
1/3 of the shilling.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you go and buy things. You can buy the phone, you can buy, and that can be used widespread. You get mileage from your travel, and you trade it for, instead of paying for the seat, you can trade your mileage and get your business class if you are not in business class. That's a currency, but it's in form of a token.
So just going back to this Libra story,
Yes.
that when I was looking at it, I was thinking to myself, is it a cryptocurrency or really is it a remittance,
No, it
a
is,
business plan?
Cryptocurrency it can be divided into one for investment and another a non-investment cryptocurrency. A non-investment is usually equivalent to some value.
Yes.
Like this one is equivalent to, it's 1-on-1 on the dollar.
So it's
And it can be exchanged at the global market at the rates of exchange of the dollar. And what it does is that it removes the middleman and creates greater efficiency for those who are using it. And the fact that the services will be free.
Yes.
Actually, they are not free, but it will be free to the customer.
It's not free because they are earning the interest.
They are earning the interest
on
when you deposit your funds into it. But the business model,
yes, what is
the business model that we have by Americans, starting from Google, Facebook, Twitter, the business model is such that the customer doesn't pay.
Yes.
Someone else pays, either the advertiser or the resources that you put there to get such convenience is the one that becomes a revenue model for the company. These business models that are coming, the emerging ones, grow so fast.
Yes.
That's how Google, Yahoo's grew so fast. I mean, you are getting an email without paying.
Yeah.
An email address, you don't pay, but they know how to pay from that. But what is happening is that the power
Yes.
is shifting from these companies
To whom?
to individuals, to us,
Yes.
as we move towards blockchain.
Yes.
The first phase, we had internet. The second phase, we have had mobility. The third phase of technology is going to be blockchain.
You're, of course, you're at the head of the
Yes,
blockchain
yes.
task force.
Yes.
Yes.
And if you see how blockchain is run, one of the aspects is that permission. I permission you to use my data. Previously, these companies
We were
don't
not
ask
in control of our data.
We were not in
They
control.
were just sweeping our
They
data.
were sweeping our data and using it in their business models.
Yes.
Now, the trend is going to move towards customer-centered, where the customer becomes the king. You need to ask the customer to use their data, and they permission you. And that's how we have the smart contracts, that I permissioned you. I don't have to have a lawyer between me and you. Once I say yes, then that becomes a smart contract. And it can become a smart contract for each country, depending on the consensus that you have in that blockchain.
Because Rubini, sorry to take you back to these
Yes.
other economists, Rubini says this is just a glorified database, the blockchain. He says it's nothing
It
more.
is, well, it's people who, some are paid to dismiss it
Yes.
because it is changing the power dynamics.
Yes.
But what I know is that it's going to help us to fight those who have swallowed our data without our permission.
That's a really important point you're making,
Yes.
because data security, customer data is one of the most...
And if I find that you used my data, this is all what you see in GDPR. People are asking, how will they know? What will they know? I can very easily look at the ledger and see whether my data contributed to the decisions that you're making, and then I can sue you. So probably in the next 5 years, these giant companies probably would pay us for our data.
That's a revolutionary
Yes,
moment.
it's a revolution that is going on.
Dr. Bitange, you know, we met each other many years ago when you were bringing the undersea cables here. You've seen the revolution in mobile money. I remember being in Michael Joseph's office. He said it's just a sticky product. It was very sticky when Airtel came to compete.
Exactly,
It
yes.
stuck everybody there. And then I remember one day you telling me, you know, it was a very light regulatory model. The central bank did not chase M-Pesa. They let it grow. It spread like wildfire. Then they come and say, okay, now guys, we got to get this under control. But they'd given it enough oxygen. Is that a correct assessment of what
That's
happened?
very correct assessment. And we had been advocating that because we don't know. Even now, what we are advocating in the blockchain
Yes.
AI
What's your
that we need a very light regulation and have a sandbox where we can test this regulation and be able to properly regulate the sector. You can't regulate what you don't know.
Yes.
Innovation precedes regulation.
Yes.
Something has to be innovated to regulate. You can't say, let us regulate.
Yes, something you
then
haven't predicted.
what you kill is innovation. You kill creativity, innovation, and not going anywhere. And from entrepreneurship, those are the two factors that make you progress. What Brazil did,
Yes.
they have a policy that if you make a genuine mistake in an attempt of innovating, you are not punished for it. So now the civil service
it's encouraging people.
encourage people to try things.
Yes.
And if they succeed, well and good. If you fail and it's known that
You
you
will
have
not
no
be
other
penalized.
motives, you are not penalized. So they call it mission-oriented policy, where they do that. What other countries have done and which we're trying to do is to create a legal sandbox. A legal sandbox is that you take an idea and try to implement under controlled circumstances. And if it functions well, then the regulator at least knows how to regulate this. Now, if they rush to regulate before anything happens, like what the Congress did
Yes.
by saying that Libra is going to create a parallel economy and mess up with our monetary policies, that is wrong.
Yes.
They should have said, okay, we want to work with you and understand the direction of this new technology.
Can Libra disrupt Africa?
Libra probably the best thing would happen in Africa.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because Africa, the problem in Africa is the elitism, that things happen, we confine ourselves into urban areas. If you look at M-Pesa, it has disrupted the rural area.
Yeah.
But you can send money into the rural areas, and it has done much. That is technology. Now, this technology is dying, and we are getting into the fourth industrial revolution with new technologies, which will disrupt. We call them exponential technologies that come with new ideas.
Yes.
This new idea, we should not kill them such that US proceeds with it, and then we are
We get
just
left
users.
behind. Yes, yes.
Since we understand what it is, let us begin to talk about it. How do we use it? Either way, we must build capacity because it would affect us whether we like it or not, because we will be discriminated. Now, look at the airports.
Yes.
Yeah?
JKI.
You used to go and talk to someone when you're traveling. Today, most airports in the world, there is nobody to talk to.
No.
You know, you have to put your passport there, you get your ticket and go. Yeah? Now, in some airports, they have changed because of biometrics, the one we were doing here. Just walk there, they see this is Ali Kani Sachu, he's booked to travel this, and you walk through.
Yeah.
Yeah, more efficient, but technology has enabled that. Now imagine we say we are not getting there and you are traveling. You will be subjected into, they don't know who you are, they don't know where you're coming from. So you would begin saying that we are being discriminated just because you have refused to pursue these technologies and be part of it. In any case, when technology comes, a few people use it. and you have the laggards who come at
Yes,
the end.
the early adopters. Yes.
Why would Africa become laggards when we understand this very well?
And let me ask you then, where are we right now as a country? You know, we were ahead of the curve. We became, Bill Gates tweeted about M-Pesa. Are we still in the front?
We were in Rwanda just a month ago.
For the digital,
yes. And we had all ministers for education. And what we were telling them with the World Bank is that things have changed. This fourth industrial revolution, things have changed. We must change the curriculum. Yeah. This is what Kenya is doing. Kenya is among the first countries to begin to implement CBC, competence-based curriculum. Yeah? There are only 6 countries in Africa that are ready for that are getting ready for the fourth industrial revolution. The rest are struggling to understand what it is. The problem, though, is that these countries would begin to find that they are being left behind. There is no manufacturing. I think there was an article today that we have not changed our manufacturing systems. We are not ready for the fourth industrial revolution. But Kenya has made some progress towards the fourth industrial revolution. At least we are talking about how can we regulate this sector. That's what we are doing in the committee. How are we going to regulate these new technologies? As a result of that, I am sitting in several committees globally, from security to whatnot, where people are looking at how would AI impact on security. Now, if we don't know that, if we behave like some countries in Africa, which shut down internet.
Sudan switched it on today, 45 days later.
45 days, Ethiopia shut it down.
Shut down.
Zimbabwe shut it down.
West Africa, Cameroon.
Cameroon has been shutting down.
What's with that?
That undermines the entire population.
Yes.
Broadband, myself, I say, should be free to the citizens. We should be thinking about new models where we don't pay for broadband and consider it a human rights issue. Once we consider that as a human rights issue, the innovations that would come from people you never thought that they would innovate
would empower
so much. Because they can go online, study, they can do what they want to do, because what is happening now, education is shifting from what we are doing to personalized learning.
What does that mean?
Bob Collymore, for example, was a ferocious reader.
He was.
Books, and he would quote from those books. He didn't go to college.
No.
It was self-learning. Much of it is on internet now. There are sites like Coursera. There are several places like YouTube where you can learn to make anything that you want to make in this world yourself, because they have simplified it. AI is helping us to have what we call adaptive learning, meaning that you can learn at your own speed. The old system, which is being opposed by the unionists in education, was discriminative in the sense that even when we could have helped someone with autism or someone with dyslexia or ADHD, we couldn't help them. We just considered them, they're foolish. You just put them there as foolish. But because of these new technologies, you can know this guy is autistic. We can now help this person to be useful in society, to teach them at the speed they can understand. It's called adaptive learning. This is what the teachers are being told, that the way God created us, you can't put 40 people of us in a class and we understand at the same speed. Now, we need technology to tell us that Ali Khan understands faster. Push him to move with that. Ndemo is a bit slower. We need to give content at his own speed. But in the end, because we have similar education, we are productive in society. That's how you see the people we left behind who didn't go anywhere become very good entrepreneurs. And you almost conclude that you must lack education to become
to have that. Yes.
It's because they have taken time to understand it by their own speed. Imagine now.
So they've understood it instinctively.
They have understood it instinctively.
Instead of being taught by rote.
But now most of them are getting this content online, educating themselves. You shouldn't go to school without having understood what you're going to learn. You are going now to fill in the gaps that you don't understand. This is what teachers are being told, that you facilitate. Then you see the ones who are behind, work on them a little longer so that they are able to be with the other students. What is wrong about that?
Nothing.
Yeah, so this is what's being said.
Dr. Ndemo, I remember coming to your office in Kenya Posta many years ago, and you at that time pulling in all the undersea cables. You put this outsized bet. You were a visionary in that way. You believed in the digital economy, and you sucked in all those. You brought in the information superhighway into Kenya. And we used to have many conversations about what was going to happen. Now tell me, in your view, what is going to happen in the next 5 years? And if you had an investor's hat, because we are a business show, what would you be telling people to look at in this fast-growing economy if they really want to surf what you're describing?
Yes, the executive has done very well.
Yes.
But today I analyzed a report, not written in Kenya, but Research ICT Africa, which has given the state of ICT in Kenya.
Yes.
The biggest problem in this country is that we have several people trying to regulate a sector which has a regulator who is supposed to be independent.
Yes.
Parliament has taken up the regulatory framework of CA. Today they were talking about that telcos must how to protect the telco data. For 15 years, a bill has been lying in Parliament for data protection.
And they haven't.
All they need to do is to pass it, and the regulator can do the implementation. They take issues that are purely regulatory, not just in our sector, in transport, in health. They are the ones now giving edicts in everything regulatory. What you do with that is that you mess up that the investors will not have trust because they don't know the behavior of who is regulating. There's several interferences.
So you're saying policy-making volatility is coming out of this?
It must be streamlined.
Yes.
And I say this, that if we have to fight corruption, each organization must do their work. If you find Parliament is the one regulating a sector like ICT, then you create a lot of loopholes where people ask for favors and stuff like that. So we need to streamline that and say we have a regulator. The regulator is independent in what they are doing. If there are gaps in the law, then those gaps are recommended to Parliament to pass, but not a committee to call you and tell you you must do this.
Yes.
That is wrong.
Okay.
Completely wrong.
So you're kind of not happy with the direction of the policy making oversight. It's just
that our parliamentarians think that they govern this country. Yeah, everything from transport.
It's probably because they're
everything.
so well paid, Dr. Bitange.
Yes. And they have to say things politically so that they can justify.
So that becomes populist policy making.
Yes, yeah. We need to change that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Opportunity-wise, you're sitting at the top of the blockchain task force. I remember people telling me we could put all the real estate transactions on the blockchain. We could put all the driving licenses. Is this happening?
Opportunities are enormous.
Yes.
When I teach entrepreneurship, I say God is good that we have so many problems because success in entrepreneurship is a problem that has a solution. Look at the food.
Yes.
The president has talked about food security. We should pick that issue and say, what is it that we need to do? It is not more acres that we need to farm.
It is what?
It is actually to reduce waste. We are wasting up to 40%
of the food we're producing.
Of the food we are producing. And to do that, it means you add value to some of the production of what we produce. adding value, you are increasing manufacturing. Yeah, you're increasing manufacturing. This is how you create jobs, more jobs, at the same time food security. If you can achieve those two at the same time, well and good. But people have misunderstood. They are looking for more acreage to grow. The acreage that is farmed in the US shrunk.
But production went up.
Production went up. We should be asking this 1 acre, how much can we produce from there? When I was very young, I saw us harvesting 40 bags of an acre, 40 bags of maize from 1 acre.
And today?
The same piece cannot produce 5.
Are you serious?
Yes, and it's all documented. Tegemeo Institute has got the data. The data is all over. And when I'm using the word data, that is 4th industrial revolution.
Yes.
Is that Ali Khan should never make a decision without evidence.
Wow.
And this is evidence that I'm giving you.
Evidence-based
I am not
decision.
making it up. Yeah.
Final question, if you look at our demography and you look at our population, every chart I see says we're going from 1.2 billion to over 4 billion. They call it the demographic dividend. But it seems to me, Dr. Ndemo, we need to have jobs for people, right? So the biggest challenge that I can see is job creation for this young demography. Is the 4th industrial revolution going to create jobs like it created jobs in East Asia when they industrialized? Or is it something totally different and we've got to think different?
It's good you ask this question because it's very misunderstood.
Yes.
And the narrative Africans have is that the new technologies are going to disrupt and take all the jobs from us. No. You recall 1982, President Moi banned computers because they were going to take the secretarial jobs.
Yes.
Did they take the secretarial? They didn't. Today, as I sit looking at you, and I can take you for a tour, most of the back office jobs from the US to Kenya is in artificial intelligence.
Yes.
There are people training, teaching, showing the roads that the driverless vehicles will drive in the US. Almost 5,000 young people working in that space.
Here?
Yes.
Serving the US market?
Serving the US market. We have multiple languages. What would make us speak? We should not be using a foreign language talking to each other. We should just be talk Swahili, and somebody who can understand English, it is simultaneously translated through the artificial intelligence.
So I could be speaking English, but you could be hearing me in Swahili.
Yes, in Swahili.
Yes.
That's how it is. Today, when you go to France, you don't have to speak French. You speak English, they are understanding in French. They speak French, you are understanding in English. Very simple. These are the areas of opportunity. Who is going to teach the machines to be able to simultaneously translate language? Who is going to teach? Is millions of people. We can revive some of the lost languages, and create that. Then what we are seeing now is every company that is coming is trying to solve the problem of supply chain. Yes. Which is broken up in Africa.
Fragmented.
If we develop supply chain for every farming activity, you create jobs in manufacturing, which I said value addition. You create jobs in counties because you need inspectors to tell you that the eggs you are buying from Kakamega, they are organic and they can be with you this evening. You create jobs all over the place. But people take an angle that is very negative, which is, I call it a lazy position, and just leave, and then someone from some other country would come and is the one to develop our languages. There's a lot of jobs that would come from artificial intelligence, from blockchain, from Internet of Things. Fish. Our farmers used to be shortchanged because the people in Nairobi will say, 50% of the fish was rotten. You can't fool them. Internet of Things, they follow. They will tell you the temperature up to Nairobi was this much. nothing would have rotten on the way. That's improvement in terms of productivity. Yeah, in education, you would need like 3 to 5 teachers in one classroom because of what I told you, adaptive learning. It's not, nobody's is going to take that, but you need as many teachers to be able to deliver that program. So there are several opportunities that would come. The difference is that you must constantly update yourself.
Yes, constant learning.
Constant learning. That is what I meant by saying self-learning. If you are trained as an accountant, don't be surprised to be coding in the next life. So the students who is graduating today as an accountant probably will change jobs 15 times by the time they get to our age.
Dr.
That is to be ready for yourself, to be ready to learn. Up to now, I'm actually learning on things that I didn't know that I have to learn and prepare myself for this. I didn't know blockchain, but I had to sit down and understand what are people talking about this. So update yourself constantly. You don't have to pay. That is free online. There is what we call massive open line, massive open this I call it MOOCs. We call them MOOCs, online courses. This you do for free. You can get your PhD from Harvard. It's only the certificate you won't have. So we have the opportunity. Let us exploit this opportunity. Let us train our people. The problems that we had on population becomes a dividend to us, because we average age in this country is 19. Europe is 45, 50. So who is going to work across the world? It is these young people. But they can't work until we provide them with an education that is adaptable.
Dr. Bitange and Ndemo, you had better come back, because we've just started on this discussion. Yes. That was Dr. Bitange and Ndemo, the head of the Blockchain Task Force, but much more than that, and really an intellectual and a thought leader in this space for more than 2 decades. It's been a pleasure speaking with Dr. Ndemo. This was Metropole TV. This was The Smart Investor. My name is Ali Khan Sachu. Join us every evening from 8 to 9 p.m. and thank you for watching.